Am I muted up there? Let me see. I am. Good. Hey, everyone. Hi. It is I, Trooper SJP, and this is the Academic Foxhole. Sorry I'm late to start, everyone. I was like, it's going to be so great. I'm going to start and it'll be awesome. And then work things happened. And, you know, it's the summer, so these work things should not be happening. But yet, they are happening, and they took me away longer than I wanted. So that's not great. But anyway, work things taken care of. Oh, yeah, there is hey, Iffy, and also, I know work things, Ice Bunny and Krellin and Grinny. Hi, Grinny Mike. There is an anime girl on my shirt. This is for Renpy, which is the computer language. It's based off of Python that a lot of people use to make visual novels, which I'm also using to make a visual novel. Oh, thank you for the host, Grinny Weasley. I didn't even see the host pop up. Oh, the student. So I'm not wearing my wrist brace, which is right over here. And if it feels too much and my wrist gets tired, then I'm just going to put it back on again. But it's here, just waiting. Wait. Don't buffer ad. You know, Ice Bunny, I should hide better so the work can't find me, but they can email me. So here's what's up. Let's talk about what is happening. Is my wrist better, Iffy? It's it is technically better. I'm doing this, but you can't see it. It's technically better so that you can't see it, but the swelling is down. I've got less swelling right over here in my extensors, and but I still, and I can actually do that without it hurting, which is good, but I still can't. So like here, I can do that. Woohoo! Like I can walk like an Egyptian, but I still can't do that with this wrist. So I have been told that I have to go to physical therapy to deal with this, and I'll be going next week. And my doctor said that I should keep wearing the brace, but I can not wear it for short periods of time to try to get some mobility back. And I thought, this seems like a nice short period of time for me not to wear the wrist brace. So if I get a little tired, I'll put it back on. Wait. Grinny, why is your toe bleeding? So, no, but you can, that's easy, right? My physical therapy will be covered by my health insurance. So, I think I only have to pay $15. So, we will see how all of this goes. Speaking of which, I need to take Jazz Punk off of my Nightbot alert. Oh, Grinny Weasley, you cut your toenail too short. Oh, Come on to my house, come on. Come on to my house, come on. Come on to my house, I'm gonna give you candy. Come on to my house, I'm gonna give you everything. Anna Geeks, oh my goodness, we have got a host from Anna Geeks. I kind of can't handle it. Oh no, you can never sneak me in while I'm distracted, because my whole job is to be distracted by you, and not just you only, but by all of chat. So that's what that is about. I don't know how you were not following Anna. I feel like you have not been stalking me sufficiently or effectively enough, and that is distressing. But that's okay. Also, Anna, it is good to see you. How are you doing, and what were you up to beforehand? It's so nice to see everyone around, actually. Yeah, like a $15 copay isn't so bad, right? I didn't actually do anything to my wrist itself. I had extensor tenosynovitis, which is when, and it's still, you can't really see it, but you can't see it. I can see it. You did it. No, you can't see it. Maybe. And this is not like a, but it's when there's fluid buildup at your extensor tendons, which makes it very difficult to extend your fingers or move your hand backwards. And I can now extend my fingers without pain, which is really good, but I still can't move my hand backwards. So that's not great. Ooh, hey, Pumpkin, thank you for continuing the sub. I want more music to show up. Also, yeah, I do. I think I do need more googly eyes. So right. And I just, oh, hey, giving all the hugs to all of the people here. I'm giving, oh, hey, I want to do show and tell, and this show and tell, that is not, it's not old age. It's just, cause that's arthritis. This is something that happens. It's not like, and I asked, like, was it because of like repetitive strain injury or something like that? And they said, no, that sometimes it just happens. And so I've got to go to the physical therapist to make sure that my wrist doesn't flare up and I can go back to doing the things I want to do, like push-ups. I want to do push-ups. I cannot do push-ups right now because I cannot move my hand in a push-up position and I cannot push. But I have the show and tell that, and this one Anna's going to be super interested in. And so I feel like, I know I should just start doing all my push-ups one-handed like a hardcore beast, and then I'll be so awesome. But look, show and tell, look what I got in the mail. Got the Expanse game, so shiny, and of course it comes with the Game Master's kit with the Game Master screen, right? Grinny, I do not approve of ads getting in the way of you being able to have a good time here. I disapprove wholeheartedly. And then I also got, because you know I am playing in a Dungeons and Dragons campaign, The Ghosts of Saltmarsh, starting tomorrow. So I got the Xanathar's Guide to Everything, which should be useful. And because I'm playing a cleric, and clerics can switch their spells all the time, I thought it would be very useful to have the cleric spellbook cards. But because I am a Tempest Domain cleric, which means I have access to some arcane spells, I also got the arcane spellbook cards. So there you go. So hey, Sea Spider, one of the two characters that I'm playing may indeed turn. I'm also super sweaty right now. You'll have to forgive me. It's because it's really hot here in the, what do you call it? New England. So, you know, it's just hot. You'll have to forgive me. I think that one of my characters may indeed end up being a swashbuckler. It is possible. And long run or short run plan? You didn't get, Falcon, welcome back. If you didn't get to start today, what happened? I'm so hot. I feel like it's the wrong hot. In the north, yeah, it's hot in the north. Hey, Neo. Also, Renby. So is that a long run or a short run? So wait. So Falcon, you didn't get to start today? Oh no! I'm sorry. That is a bummer. That's a bummer. I hope we're all good for tomorrow. In case you all want to know, the right hot. Is that like the right stuff? Oh, 27 Celsius, that's hot. Yeah. Ooh, Earl Grey. Nice. So tomorrow, At 2 p.m. Eastern Time, I will be playing in the Ghosts of Saltmarsh, a campaign on the Greyhawk channel. And I have 2 different characters that I'm playing. And tomorrow I'll be playing my teenage emo dwarf that I just got a bunch of chainmail for. And the chainmail is heavy. Like that's what I'm going to tell you. So it's 2 p.m. Eastern Time tomorrow, and I don't know how long it runs. I don't know if it's a 3 or a 4 hour game. I really cannot tell you that. But we're going to start tomorrow at 2, Ghost of Saltmarsh, and there's more than one Ghost of Saltmarsh campaign on a Friday, but this is the one that starts at 2. And Teen Dwarf is the cleric one. Teen Dwarf is the emo cleric dwarf, and I have yeah, I know, Anna, but there is no air conditioning. I live in a dorm, and they're not going to give me any, certainly not in this room. So it's going to be, that is correct, 1,400 hours, Ice Bunny, 1,400 hours. So I think in Europe it should be 2,000 hours, 8 p.m. So I'm going to be in a tunic and also chainmail, and I'm going to have like a head cowl hood thing, and so I think I'll be really hot. I think I'm gonna just be really hot is how that's gonna go. Yeah. I'm upset that I'm going to miss tomorrow's stream. I would love to see you as a character, not a DM. Oh, I'm looking forward to it. It's gonna be really good. Also, I live in a university dormitory, and what other people might have, dormitories don't always have. For example, we do not have air conditioning. And also the windows I have in this room are not openable. So I do not have windows that can open. I don't think any of the windows, do they open? Can I open windows in this room? That's a question that I'd have to look into that. But if I can open windows, they're not windows that are openable to put a window unit in. They're like little side, little doorway, kind of like little mini doorway windows. Yeah, no, window unit's not an option. Thanks, Levi. Yeah, so, this is, you live in a dorm. This is how you can try. I do, but Grinny, my books are not yet alphabetized, and I will. I just need my wrist to actually get better so I can reorganize these shelves, because you cannot see it, but there's a shelf here and a shelf here, and the shelf that's right there that you cannot see, whoop, whoop, let me gesture with the good hand, whoop, 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 whoop. That has got more gaming books on it, and I think what I need to do is organize it so that the shelves, those shelves, which currently are housing a bunch of those shelves, which are currently housing a bunch of hats. I'll put some of the gaming stuff down there as well. Stuff that's up here, I'll put it down there. Gesture. And then they'll get organized 3 weeks before I get out. Yeah. No, it's true, right? I mean, there's I think there's a lot of stuff, right, that when you live in a dorm, they do a lot of things like liability issues, like they don't want people jumping out of windows or whatever. Floor ACs. Huh. No, I don't feel like I'm having a heat stroke, not that I know of. If I do, I mean, I have water. If I have a heat stroke, I'll let you know. I don't know. Maybe I won't be able to let you know. I can't say. So on Friday at 2 p.m. Eastern Time, I will be in Ghost of Saltmarsh, and I'll be playing a teen emo dwarf cleric. God of the tempest, of the storms and of the seas, just nobody understands my pain. And I will be streaming on Saturday, normal time, noon, and on Sunday at 10 a.m. Eastern Time, I will be streaming Sunday Funday at Little Red Dot's channel, Little Red Dot, and I will be playing my human noble who's a little bit sheltered, Lord Florian of Greendale. So that's what I got going on. Dorms usually have locks in the windows to prevent jumpers. It's a fire code thing that they have to put them in. Whether you can, we're not allowed to do things we'll get in trouble all the time. None of my family appreciates how the sea calls to me. They don't. Like, his family does not understand, like, the meaning of the sea, you know? It's terrible. So he's gonna be like a good teenage emo dwarf, and that's all. I don't think I'll be able to re-dye my beard because I still have a little bit of blue, you know? Ooh. Come on to my house, come on. Come on to my house, I'm gonna give you candy. Come on to my house, I'm going to give you everything. Peanut Butter Princess, thank you for the host. Welcome in. We're talking, oh, Nori's very good. We're talking about how I do not have really functional windows because I live in a university dorm. I think I've got little mini windows that I could probably open, but you don't want to open up windows when you're streaming because the street's right over there and I'll get all this sort of traffic noises. So that's bad. My Uncle Fourthhand was a sailor, you know? Oh, you never heard of Uncle Fourthhand? Because the sea killed him. Because the sea is cruel, just like life. Nobody knows my pain. My heart is a torrent like the raging sea. Yeah, I'm excited for this. I haven't figured out all the details of like how I want to, but like I'm getting my sense of this character and I'm excited about it. This is going to be good. So Sunday Fun Day, 10 a.m. on the little red dot. I'll be doing a sort of pampered noble fighter. Saturday, regular streaming of Horizon Zero Dawn at noon, and tomorrow 2 p.m. Ghost of Saltmarsh. And the Ghost of Saltmarsh is a longer running campaign, so that will be happening every Friday for a while. I don't know how long, but for a while. So don't worry, Pumpkin, I'm not doing a Scottish accent for this dwarf because I feel like that's just so cliche. Everyone does that. Oh no, Falcom, you did your hair for this game today and then you... Oh, no, that's not petty at all. That's not petty at all. Oh, and I'm ready for the sea, needing all sorts of sacrifice. Levi. Trooper, says Grinny, I feel like you would appreciate my loudly listened to Ella Fitzgerald and Louis Armstrong this morning while making breakfast. Oh, Ella and Louis? Mwah. So excellent. I am such a fan. No, I will not make the dwarf sound like a Scot. I'm not excited by that stereotype. This is not exciting to me. I want Valley Girl dwarves and Scottish elves. See, that would be exciting. So water is the sea and you don't drink your deity. No, I think he only drinks water and he's straight edge. He's like emo straight edge, so he doesn't drink alcohol at all. Shouldn't dwarves sound Norse? Oh, I suppose they could sound German too, right? Like they could sound German, they could sound Norse. They could have only salty water. Like they could sound German or Norse. They could do that. That could be a thing they could do. His deity sustains him directly with my body. Which, you know, I will say, for a salty emo dwarf, since medieval water is always so sketchy, drinking water rather than alcohol shows that you really care about your deity, that you're really committed. Also, dwarves have high constitution scores. Oh, for Santo, are you also schwitzing? Yeah, it's hot. It's not exciting. Norwegian is like singing. I was in a campaign where dwarves were the worst kind of cholos. So, I mean, I feel like you could also do like a southern accent for your dwarves, right? You could do like a West Virginia if you wanted. If you think about dwarves being minors, so you could do like a West Virginia accent. Like I'm just saying that there's a lot of places you could go with the dwarf other than being Scottish. And I'm not going to be a Scottish dwarf. I don't feel like it. Come on to my house, come on. Come on to my house, come on. Come on to my house, I'm gonna give you candy. Come on to my house, I'm going to give you everything. Esteni, welcome in. How was your stream today? What were you doing, Esteni? Hey, if you all don't know, first off, hold on. I need to tell you all something. This is important. I think I tell you like this. So first off, if you don't know Anna Geeks, you need to go and follow Anna Geeks. First off, you really should know Anna Geeks because she's amazing. And Anna Geeks is like an amazing baker. She bakes, she plays video games, she chats. Like, she's just super cool, really like warm and welcoming. Follow her. Esteni is an amazing artist, and you should follow Esteni, as well as being a wonderful RPer and also a great GM, and very cool. Also, you should follow Esteni. So follow them both. Do it. I mean, I'm not the boss of you, but I'm just saying you could do it, and it would be good. Eduardo was the name of the keg they carried when the other players were doing combat training. Ooh, Sunless Skies. Ooh, I like the whole Sunless Sea. And I have no privacy. I always feel that somebody's watching me. Tell me, is it just a dream? Meganaut, thank you so much for the follow. This makes you follower 466. And this is really important for you all to know that when we get to 500 followers, we have a follower goal. A follower goal. And at 500 followers, I'm going to do a visual novel, probably done in Ren'Py, in Pig Latin. So that is the goal, a stream in Pig Latin. Or at the is they ide olge, ewe imstre inwe igpe atenle. So a stream in Pig Latin is coming, but there'll be subtitles, so you'll know what I'm saying. So it will be fine, because there'll be subtitles. So you will know, like, if you don't speak Pig Latin, it's okay. There will be subtitles. Oh, New Yorker dwarves. Ooh. Forlasando says your dwarves were either Russian. I wonder when dwarves should be Peruvian, says Krillin. That would be exciting. New Yorker, all the glitter. New Yorker dwarves would be hilarious. All right, we're almost at 500 and a Pig Latin stream. So it's I'm so not easily distracted. What did you say? Oh, that's interesting. We are, oh, by the way, we're playing I was distracted. We're playing Where the Water Tastes Like Wine today. Oh my day. Wait, so many questions. I want to answer all of them. Hey, I'm crying about my life. Hey, I'm crying about my life over here. Oh, Bostonian. What if I could be like can you be like an emo New Yorker dwarf? Oh yeah, you just have to ask me RPG related questions and then I'm good. Wait. Where was I? I just totally lost my train of thought. No, wait. Okay, so not New Yorker dwarves, although that would also be really good, because I can kind of see like Joe Pesci playing a dwarf, right, in an RPG. This is emo Jersey dwarf. I can see it. Or the classic West Side Story Puerto Rican accent. No. Okay, wait. So there was a question. Today we're going to be playing Where the Water Tastes Like Wine, right? That is on the docket. I do have a giveaway for Arrow, which is a music rhythm game, and I'm going to give that away at some point in time during the stream time. And at 10 p.m. Eastern time, I'm going to be hosting Critical Role on my channel. So if you want to hang out in a channel full of really nice people who are nice and are not mean, and also not 50,000 people, so you can want to watch Critical Role and chat in a sort of more mellow, relaxed way, you can hang out with us because we are lovely. A Norse Anna Geek says, you mentioned Nordic dwarves. Someday I want to run or play in a Norse mythology-based RPG. So Danny DeVito dwarf would be so good, drummer boy. Italian gangster dwarf clan. See, that would be good too. This is the 18th time that this may be the 18th time that I actually play Where the Water Tastes Like Wine. So the thing is about that, you were talking about a Nordic RPG, and where did I put it? Because no, that's the Princess Bride. Where did it go? Where did I put it? It should be up there. Oh yeah, it's right over there. Hold on. Whoop. Aha. So I'm putting on the headset so I can hear you, although I can't actually hear you. So what am I even doing? Oh, old Marlon Brando dwarf. Oh, so nice. So yes, Pumpkin, it is true. Right. So Hall of Judgment came out for Dungeon Fantasy GURPS, and that is all Nordic Nordic based. So I mean, this is out there. And I actually think, do I have? Yeah, I was the lead playtester for GURPS Vikings, which should probably be right over there. Yeah. So back in the day, I did volunteer work as a lead playtester for Steve Jackson Games, and they did GURPS Vikings, which would give you all the stuff you need to do the show Vikings, and also you can have more magic if you want because it's modular. But I am not currently streaming GURPS, but I'm saying that there are things out there. There are supplements. They're right out there just waiting for you if you want to do some Vikings. You could do some good sea combat. And if you want it to be really sort of cinematic, no, actually, I was not a playtester. I was lead playtester, and lead playtester is different. So when you're the lead playtester, because they would have, so like it would be my job as lead playtester to go through all of the comments that all the playtesters made every day, turn them into a digest, organize them, turn them into a digest, make them readable, send them off to the authors. I was basically the interface between the authors and the playtesters, and the authors would sort of look through the playtest threads as well, but it was my job every day to sort of make everything make sense, right? So it was a lot of organization and coordination, and I would go back and forth between the actual playtest group and the authors, and I would help set up stuff. So it was good times. I often use The Last Kingdom and or Vikings to illustrate why Burning Wheel totally rocks. That's from For Santo. I am not a fan of Burning Wheel because of I have the first edition, and I do not like. There's author attitude that I do not like. I wish we had a lead playtester trooper. The designer responds to us like once every 2 weeks. Oh, yeah, no. Having a lead playtester was really great, right? I mean, like, it's work on my part, but like it's my job to make sure that everything flows back and forth, and I do all the coordination, or I did. I've not lead playtested for them for a while. That is the life of being a professor. It cuts down your free time. But it is, and this was also, all through back old email days where I'd have to like rethread and unthread all sorts of email to make everything work. But it was good. It was good. Yeah, I mean, basically, and my understanding is that he has taken out some of that language in the later editions, but reading the original edition of Burning Wheel, I got the very strong sense that the author had some bad GMs in his life and doesn't trust GMs, and made a rule set that basically is coming out of a paranoid space, a space where he doesn't trust GMs, like where like the rules are made to protect the players from evil GMs, and it has the assumption that GMs will be working in bad faith. And I don't want to play a game that assumes I don't want to GM a game that assumes that I'm going to be working in bad faith. It's not, you know what I mean? Like and he's not the only one. Like there was another game that was never made it out of, I don't think it ever really got published in hard copy, but it was even worse. Like there's just a lot of, there are some people who've had really bad had experiences with GMs, like really bad GMs, and then they create rule sets that assume that all GMs are bad GMs that are sort of hostile. And Oh, really? You feel like Numenera? That's interesting. For Santo, tell me about that thought. Because with Burning Wheel, he just straight up said things like, "This is insurance against the GM. This is insurance against the GM." And I was like, "Oh, I don't want to GM a game that does not trust me." You know what I mean? Like, if the rule set doesn't trust me, doesn't respect me, I don't want to play that rule set. I don't want to GM that rule set. But, ooh, interesting, wrist. But tell me, For Santo, how you feel, because I have not, I have Numenera, but I've not actually read through it. Yeah. So tell me how you feel that Numenera, it takes a sort of a hostile relationship towards the GM. I want to know. I'm interested, because it's interesting to me to think about the relationship between game designer, GM, and players. Like there's a nice triangle there of people who are involved in this game, and what is the relationship between those three people, and like how do you make a game? Like, what are you doing? And the thing is, there are some bad GMs, right? There are bad GMs who are bad and who have no business GMing at all. But not all GMs are bad. And I'm not into sort of creating. So there's a person in my field. Yeah, the whole thing the other weekend. There's a person in my field, musicology, who wrote a book that talked about paranoid scholarship, wherein when you write assuming everyone's out to get you and that nobody will like you, and so then you end up writing things that are really defensive and actually sometimes hostile. And that he's like, we have to just stop behaving this way. We have to stop assuming that everyone's out to get us and that everyone hates us. And I feel like sometimes RPG's authors sometimes also write from a paranoid space. There are both unskilled GMs and GMs that approach things completely the wrong way. This is true. Not really hostile, but a surprising amount of design effort went into pushing the game out toward the player in weird ways. Oh, yeah. So that's interesting for Santo, because that's part of like a new trend. Ooh, pardon me. Sorry, I don't know why I'm saying pardon me. I just moved my wrist in a way that made it hurt. That's part of a new trend. They're not the only ones that do it, wherein the GM doesn't roll. And I don't think of that as being sort of hostile towards the GM, whereas I thought that Burning Wheel actively was, because the game designer said hostile things. But it's part of this sort of trend towards, I don't know. I will get to you about that question, Ice Bunny. I think that, so when people advocate for the GM not rolling, I find that with what their advocacy tends to run along this line. If the GM doesn't roll, they don't have to worry about that. They can just worry about the story, right? That tends to be the line, right? That you don't, rather than having to roll and like worry about that, you don't have to worry about that kind of logistics. You get to just sort of do the story. And that, I think, tends to be how it is framed in sort of Powered by the Apocalypse. I imagine that's how they frame it in Numenera. That, and then that this frees up the GM's mind from these things to like big story moments. So yeah, I think they often sort of frame it that way. I don't think that is 100% all that they're thinking about. I think that's the line, but I think that they're thinking about other things as well. Yeah, so like I feel like both Cypher and Powered by the Apocalypse, I think the story is right. I think the line is that it frees the GM up for more creativity. They don't have to worry about dice. But there's another sort of flip side in the more modern games wherein the players also don't roll. So, well, sort of reducing the players needing to roll or having to roll. And this, I want to write a blog post about this because I've got a number of sort of comments from designers saying that, you know, players just don't like to fail, and so failure should be taken out of the system. So in Gumshoe, which are all investigative games, players do not roll to investigate. They just automatically succeed in investigation. The idea being that the story stops if the players fail to get the clues. Like if the players fail to get the clues, then the story doesn't go, and what's the point of that? So let's just have them succeed. Whereas I actually think failure is great. I love failure. But like there's like a real sort of trend. There's a real trend to sort of minimize failure on the players' parts and to minimize. Well, actually, there's just like a kind of a slightly rules light trend, generally speaking. So, you know. How are making worlds worrisome? It's a good question, Krellin. I've been devouring the Adventure Zone Amnesty, and I enjoy that the Monster of the Week system, which is powered by the Apocalypse, isn't extremely roll-heavy. It's made extremely easy for me to devour it. Yeah, see, Anna Geeks, I'm with you. I actually think that failure is super fun. I think that there's some great fun in failure. And I also think... I think... I agree with that idea. If the players need a clue, they shouldn't have to roll for it, or if they do, they succeed with complications. Whereas I am fine with players not getting clues because the way that I think about story is as I don't think about in my home space, right? I can do all the different styles, but in my home style, I am not a narrativist. So I don't think of stories as a 3-arc act with a beginning, middle, and end, or like the 5-arc act where you've got introduction, call to action, rising action, big climax, denouement, right? Like I don't, that's not how I think about story. So I don't think, for example, oh, here's the mystery. They have to find these 3 clues so that they can then find the person. And then there's the big confrontation and then it ends. Like this is like a story arc that is sort of planned. I don't, in my home style, that's not how I think about it. In my home style, I think about story as emergent, and failure is just part of the story. So if they go into a room and there happen to be clues there and they don't find it, that's fine. I don't think the story ends. I think the story just changes, so that, for example, I'm okay with there being a story of the 2 cops who don't catch the arsonist, and the arsonist gets away, or they think they know who the arsonist is, but they haven't found the clues to prove it. Do they then fake evidence? Do they decide to take law in their own hands? All of this for me is interesting story-wise. I'm okay with stories not being part of the traditional model, and failure opens up stories to give you something that you would not get in anything else other than in an RPG, right? If this were a movie, it's going to give you the traditional model because that's how movies work or TV shows work. But RPGs are not movies or TV shows or books. They're their own genre. And I really am super interested in what happens and what different kinds of stories that you can get, because it's an RPG and things unfold differently. And that's super interesting to me. Javai says, I find that failures can be really fun, but there are times when the game relies on it not being a failure, but that is not a thing in all playstyles for sure, depends on how the game is set up. Mystery settings are also very different from other settings because it might not be possible without certain clues. But here's the thing. You can do a mystery in a very narrativist way where you must have clue X, clue B, and if you do not catch the villain, you have failed in the adventure, right? But I just don't run mysteries that way. And I will tell you, I run a lot of investigative games. If there's one thing I do a lot, it's running investigative games. And I have never sort of framed it, but I think that you can run them in a different kind of a way than the way that they're normally run. I think that there are different ways of approaching what a story can be. Vigilante Murder. I've been playing Shadowrun for almost 2 years now, and I've never read the rule book. I got lucky to play with people who don't care that I still ask what I need to roll for. I feel like, Grinny, you should probably just play more rules-light games. I know you're not sort of big on rules, and there's some really great, much lighter systems that might be really fun for you, that you might really enjoy. I guess how that story changes is something where GMs players might struggle with imagining the outcome. So I feel like something has to do with making it... Oh, if you're writing a module, like it's going to be... how do I put this? Very rarely are there sandbox modules. So very rarely are there modules that are made for emergent storytelling. They're almost always sort of set stories, and then you go through them in some way, which is, cool. And again, see, really easy to get Trooper to talk and not play games. I see you, Grinny. Get him talking about his passions and we'll go on for hours. I see you. I want to GM an intact world where much of the world moves around the players, but also reacts to the players. As do I, Pumpkin, but I need to find a group to do this with. And this is actually the key, right? Because the key of I think the real thing is that many players actually don't want that, right? Many players don't actually want to live in a living world. They want a Hollywood narrative, right? What are you saying? Are you saying that I'm not categorized right? What is it? Is it game? Just chatting? Is that what I do? Is that what I'm doing right now? I'm gonna say just chatting for the moment. But I feel like I shouldn't change it to D&D because I'm not playing D&D, right? I feel like you can't do that. Maybe? Maybe. I don't know. So here's the thing, and this is something I'm really sort of fascinated by. I'm really fascinated by what we can think of as how emergent storytelling works, right? So think about this. Think about your tradition, and again, right? This is suddenly the sky darkens. It seems as though the midnight sky is being emanated from the town that you thought was boring. You see the world begin to fracture. I guess you should have taken some of those hooks. Yeah, not categories. Oh yeah, I think that trolls do come in when it's just chatting, right? I feel like that's how trolls happen. So what I was thinking about was this. So imagine, and this is really important, that a lot of players really want Rails. They really enjoy it. So Grinny, I just think that you should play games with, I think you should play some rules light systems. I think you should play more, games with far fewer. I think that you might enjoy trying out some games that are much more rules light with much less rolling, where you don't have to worry about any of that at all. So things like, Powered by the Apocalypse is, but you could do much more rules light games, like Lasers and Feelings, Honey Heist. There's some really, really nice rules light games that you might really enjoy, Grinny. You might really enjoy them, and I want you to, you should play Grinny. Oh my gosh, Grinny Weasley. Grinny, I'm sorry, I have to tell you that I have the game that you should play if you haven't played it. You should play Fiasco. Grinny, you were made for Fiasco. Grinny, listen to what I'm telling you right now. Listen to what I'm saying. Listen. You should play Fiasco. Play Fiasco. Do it. I'm just saying that's what you should do. This is it. Grinny, Fiasco. And then also Good Society. That's a good one too. So Grinny, Fiasco. So Anio asks, so do you keep providing clues, hints, opportunities for the players if they fail, or are you fine with them exhausting the clue space and being stuck ending their story? I'm thinking how it applies to Call of Cthulhu. I'm going to answer that question because it's actually quite philosophical, and this is part of the difference between approaching how you approach making a story in these different modes, and it's actually really important. So I'm going to come back to that one. Monster of the Week. Ooh, that sounds fun, says Grinny. I want there to be an educational tag to be quite honest. I was thinking of doing educational streams a while back. The lack of a category makes me think it'd not get it. Oh, yeah, Control Freak. I think that it would be great to have an educational tag. Somebody, Twitch, do that. They should do that. I really want a Storybrooke Kickstarter campaign to hit 70K so I can hack Good Society to be Hogwarts. Hey, Artie Snack. I'm scrolling down. People went real fast, and I'm having to get all the chat in. I feel like Grinny Fiasco. What, Grinny? Why don't you think you should play Fiasco? You should totally play Fiasco. I feel like you, of all the people that I know, would love Fiasco. I feel like you'd love it. I feel like you would have such a good time making a Fiasco. Oh, there is? Nice. Oh, that's great. Oh, I love it. For example, I kind of want a War in the North kind of Lord of the Rings setting with a calendar that progresses towards Frodo completing his quest regardless of the PC's actions. But the Shard might not end up being there afterwards if the PCs don't make us enough of a successful impact. You could, that's a tag. Oh, I see. There's an educational tag that you could put on this other thing. I see what you're saying. Huh, okay, so here's the question about clues. So I want to say something about this. I feel like I should change the name. Ooh. The name game. Oh, come on, everybody. It's fitting. Let's play a game. I bet you I can make a rhyme out of anybody's name. The first letter of the name, I treat it like it wasn't there. And then a B or an F or an M will appear. And then I say bow at a B, then I say the name, then banana, fana, and fo. And then I say the name again with an F, very plain, then a fee, fi, and a mo. And then I say the name again with an M this time, and there isn't any name that I can't rhyme. Crit witch, bo, bit witch, banana, fana, fo, fit witch, fee, fi, mo, mit witch. Crit witch. Thank you so much for the resub, Crit Witch. All subs are greatly appreciated, and they help me move my way towards my empire of starting a game on my channel, an RPG game on my channel, and actually being able to pay the people. So thank you very much. It is much appreciated. Not even a stutter on Bitwitch. That's all. Oh no! Wait, Granny Weasley, we're gonna have to talk about Fiasco. I'm just saying that you would really appreciate it. Oh, business behind the scenes and more. Huh. But how do people search by tags is my question. Do people search search by tags? Or do they search by category? All hail the glorious RPG empire. It won't even really be an empire. It'd be like a shire. That's all. Ooh, Iffy. The name game. Come on, everybody. I said, now let's play a game. I bet you I can make a rhyme out of anybody's name. The first letter of the name, I treat it like it wasn't there. And then a B or an F or an M will appear. And then I say bow at a B, then I say the name, then banana, fana, and fo. And then I say the name again with an F, very plain, then a fee, fi, and a mo. And then I say the name again with an M this time, and there isn't any name that I can't rhyme. A frithial, boba, frithial, banana, fana, fo, frithial, fee, fi, mo, ma, frithial. A frithial. By the way, I went with the full name. I didn't even shorten it to make it easier for myself. I went full on a frithial. I want you to know it. I don't know, Krillin. Maybe people do search. I don't even know. Maybe. Thank you so much for the for the sub, the resub, Iffy. Thank you very much. Also, hey, Artie Snackage. So, I bet you can't make a rhyme out of Commodore Penelope Worthington's name. Well, according to the song, you can make a rhyme out of anybody's name. So I feel like Penelope, you would just say Penelope, right? Because that's her name. I mean, I don't know. That's what I'm thinking. Frithiel. Anna Geeks, is there another way you get... oh, yeah, you can make me sing that. Wait! Grinny cheered. Hey, everyone. There are bits that have just come in, and this means there's another song that's not playing, but I have to sing it anyway. And so this is important. Grinny, I would like to thank you for the bits, and thank you for the pride emotes. And now for you, I'm going to sing We're in the Money in Pig Latin as sung by Ginger Rogers in the film Gold Diggers of 1933. Earway and hey, the anime. Earway and hey, the anime. Way at gay away at lay of way at wakes te utit gay ang wayo. Earway and hey, the anime. They ice gaze or ani say. Old man the 80 ash and pray uye uthre uvia stay on young rayo. Ewe every eat ray ed leans lay of way ed brayans lay ute day. And we see the and lay or you play at the I got right in the IA. We're in the money. We're in the money. We've got a lot of what it takes to get along. Okay, I'm just really excited to be able to sing in Pig Latin at any time, all the time, anytime, all the time. Just, oh, Be Right UK. What? I have been practicing. I'm still not perfect on it yet, but I'm still working. That's it. You do walk into show tunes, Missile Monkey. Be Right UK. Thank you for the bits. And as we know, Airway and hey, the anime. Airway and hey, the anime. Eve way at gay way at lay of way at wakes te ute it gay leang wayo. Airway and hey, the anime. They ice gaze or ani say. Oh man, the 80 and pray uye uthre uvi aste away on rayo. Ewe every eat ray ed leans lay of way ed brands lay ute day. And waitin we see the and lay or we look lay at the I right in the IA. We're in the money. We're in the money. We've got a lot of what it takes to get along. Anyway, who doesn't like to sing in Pig Latin? I just want to sing in Pig Latin all the time. All the pride emotes also. Ooh, you just earned a new badge, Be Right. That is awesome. I just realized Trooper's wearing a Renpy shirt, which I am. I've spent a chunk of this term using that to help teach game story. Oh, Control Freak. I love Renpy. I think Renpy is an amazing system, computer language. I love it. It's my favorite. I'm working on a game. I have a game that is half done. Actually, it's more than half done. It's like 2/3 done. I just have not had a lot of time. I'm hoping over the summer I can finish it up. So that is really good. Okay. Oh, all right, Crit Witch. So this is what I want to say about clues and how you. Ooh, Sal. Ooh. All right, I'm gonna sing this and then I'll tell you. So. Airway and hey, the anime. Airway. By the way, when I sing it multiple times, do you start picking up the Pig Latin and understanding it better? Because I feel like the more I sing it, the more you're going to understand the Pig Latin, right? In case you don't know, before we go, I'm going to just sing it Rimpy's so good. I'm going to just sing it in English so you know what the lyrics are in case you've never heard them. So then when I sing it in Pig Latin, it'll just be a little bit, you'll get it better, right? So in English, it's, sorry, I was going to sing it in Pig Latin. We're in the money. Oh, wait, hold on. You know what I can do? I can do this. Because I have an old school megaphone that people would use to sing when they were singing in the old school. And since I have it, I should probably just use it. And I'm going to sing We're in the Money with the megaphone, all old school style. And then I'll sing it in Pig Latin so that it'll help you all with, the language, in case you're wondering. So, we're in the money, we're in the money. We've got a lot of what it takes to get along. We're in the money, the skies are sunny. Old man depression, you're through, you've done us wrong. We never read headlines about breadlines today. And when we see the landlord, we look that guy right in the eye. We're in the money, we're in the money. We've got a lot of what it takes to get along. All right, so that's it in English. So then we're gonna do it like Max Rabe. It's not like Max Rabe, it's like crooners from the 20s. Max Rabe is trying to be like crooners from the 20s, but he's from today. So then in Pig Latin, Airway and hey, the anime. Airway and hey, the anime. Eve way at gay way at lay of way at way it wakes te ute it gay leang way oh. Airway and hey, the anime. E the I skays or ani say. Old may Andy ADS and pray uye uthre ubri aste way young rayo. Iwe everny eat ray ed leans lay of way ed brands lay ute day. And when we see the anley or we ukly at the I got in the IA. We're in the money. We're in the money. We've got a lot of what it takes to get along. Sorry, it gave me an excuse to use my megaphone. And I feel like that makes this a completely successful stream, no matter what happens. That's all that I'm saying. Fancy old-timey English. Right? The whole tune changes, right? And here's the thing, this is why... but he's one of the people, one making modern people aware of how cool music from the 20s is. Not in the US. I mean, he's very popular in Germany. That is true. What it takes to make a grown man squee. Can we get the pill like the old timey voice? I want the old timey voice. I'm super jealous of people who have that ace flag. I just have the buy one currently. I feel like I should get all of the flags. We were having a good discussion about something. I feel like you distracted me really well. Hey, Lil Pump, how are you? Right now we're chatting about RPGs. I find it super interesting that megaphones took on the same form factor as the old cell. Yeah, right? Because they didn't have to. They could look like anything, but then they didn't. Let's see. Chatting about RPGs and sandboxes and emergent narrative. I think that's how you do it. Like, I don't know if that's how you did it. I feel like that wasn't it. I think I didn't actually change the name. That's so sad for me. But I wanted to change the name. My name is Grinny and I'm annoyed. What do we have here? Can y'all play for my man's little Cheetos? Nothing wrong with him. He's just a little stupid. Oh, no. Can we get the Pig Latin one in the old-timey voice? Maybe, Iffy. I think you probably can. Oh, then yes. Yes, you can. I'd swap you out if I could. While I love the ability to support my ace friends, Buy's been my major label the longest and be nice people to wave that flag. Oh, yeah. I know you like the comedian harmonist Ice Bunny. I studied them academically, as a matter of fact. So, Iffy, since you asked, right? Because we're gonna talk. I was gonna change the name of the thing, but then I forgot. I'll work it. So here we go. Keep grinding my men. I believe in you. I will do it. Here you go. You ready? Airway and hey, the anime. Airway and hey, the anime. Eve way at gay way at lay of way at way at way exte ute it gay young way oh. Airway and hey, the anime. The ice skates are on, he say. Old man, the ADS and pray, oh, yeah, through you, via stay wang wrong way, oh. We ever need red lands lay, of wet brains lay, oote day. And we see the landlord, we look left, I got right in the IA. We're in the money, we're in the money. We've got a lot of what it takes to get along. I just, so excited. This is, and game. Game? I feel like it's title, right? Wait, somebody was saying about, they're canceling Lucifer after the next season. Oh, I heard something about Netflix. I heard, isn't acapella like they did one of the hardest ways to sing? There are a lot of people who are not very talented at sing a cappella. They were just particularly, good. They modeled themselves off of an American group called the Melody Makers. The Melody Makers? No, that was their first name. The group that there was an American group that they modeled themselves off of. There were a bunch of these. I mean, there are lots and lots of a cappella groups, especially at this time, coming out of barbershop. Why did we as fans fight to save it after Fox canceled just over? Oh, yeah. So, I think this is really tricky. You only hear anime when I say anime. I get it. Airway and hey, the anime. No, I totally get it. Yeah. I get it. I'm with it. Oh. No. I have that, right? I think we are just chatting. That's totally where I'm at. But I wanted to change the title, right? So we're just chatting, but I wanted the title to be different. So here we'll just say chatting. Maybe I just say title. Chatting about RPGs and emergent storytelling. And we'll just say, chill talking about, this way I got talking about RPGs. Updated. There we go. Thanks, Krellin. It probably would be just title, right? Airway in, hey, the Dragon Ball Z, Wait. We're in the Dragon Ball Z, we're in the Ghost in the Shell. So that would be Airway and hey, the Agandre all, would you say Dragon Ball, Agan Ball, Dre, Z way. Agandre Albe, Z way. Airway and hey, the Agandre Albe, Easy. Airway and hey, the Ostgate Inway Ide Elshe. That'll work. Everything. God damn it. Now I'm not gonna be able to hear it as anything but anime now. It's fair. Airway and hey sounds like it should be some kind of slice of life thing, possibly with mecha. Airway and hey. Yeah, it's good. I know I'm some kind of romantic, but I don't do much dating. So I guess I don't really know where I fall because I've only dated guys. Oh, hey Grinny Weasley. More emotes. This is interesting. Well, you could date people and not be romantic at all. Like you could be sexual, but not romantic. Some people try to tell me that asexual and pansexual contradict each other, and I have to tell them that they will never understand. You could be asexual and panromantic, right? Because romantic and sexual are different. That's all. Right? They're not the same. So you could be pansexual aromantic. You could be like lots of there are like lots of different ways to fit all of that together. There are like asexual panromantic folks. Demisexual pansexual. Yeah, totally. You could be right? As I was saying, though, for Grinny, pansexual aromantic is Zevran. Yeah. And that's what I'm, aromantic pansexual. See, I'm just saying, right? These are all possibilities. These are all possibilities. Also, a possibility is that I get to sing in Pig Latin again. Because I got the wonderful bits from Grinny. Airway and hey, the anime. Airway and hey, the ghost in the shell. Hey. Sorry. Way out gay away outway of way up way at wakes to ute it gay young way oh. Airway and hey the anime. The ice skates are ani say. Oh man the adiation pray uye uthra ubi aste away young rayo. Iwe everne eat red leansley of wed brandsley ute day. And when we see the anley or ilkley at the I got in the IA. I'm just sorry. I had to just put in a little bit of Ghost in the Shell right there. Dragon Age feels. So okay. First off, never apologize, Drummer Boy. Never apologize. Don't ever do it. So here's the question about clues. That was Anio's question about what do you do if they don't get the clues, and. It's fine now I know how to say money in Pig Latin. Anime, right? That's not exactly anime, but anime. Okay, it's almost the same word, but it's a little bit different, but it's really close. It's really close. Okay, so here's the thing. People, so the reason why Gumshoe did what it did is because of the idea that if the players don't get the clue, then the story stops, and then the game is no fun because you can't progress with the storyline at all. And strange how money in Pig Latin is anime, which usually costs a lot of money, which makes it all, that makes it a conspiracy, right? Yes. But anime in Pig Latin is anime way. So money is anime, but anime is anime way. So just think about that. Oh no! Anna Geeks, you don't know. It is possible. It is possible. I will see you when you get back, Anna. So there's this idea, right? That if you don't get the clues, then you can't solve the mystery, and then the plot grinds to a halt. And I think that requires a certain way of thinking about story. And there's traditional anime and contemporary anime. This is true. There are two different types of anime, and some of them are easier to counterfeit than others. This is, I cannot go to Pride in Boston because I am too packed all over the place, I'm afraid, which is a bummer. But Miss Wood's like, I'll be asleep after 3 hours. There can be more clues. You can just make clues up. So this is what I'm thinking about, right? If you are modeling your game off of something like Agatha Christie, then what you have is a puzzle that has a certain solution to it, and the players may succeed or fail in finding the solution. And there's only that's it. So somebody so let me think about let's think about this. So I'm going to give you spoilers. I'm giving you spoilers for Evil Under the Sun, Agatha Christie. Everybody has arrived at a swallowed by the red herring all along. So a bunch of people, rich people, go to a resort in an island off of Albania, and this is such a weird plot. Anyway, there's an actress who's really, really annoying. Everybody hates her for various reasons. She screwed everybody over, and she's going to go off to have an affair with a guy because she's married. She's there with her husband and her daughter. Her stepdaughter hates her. She's really horrible to her stepdaughter. Her husband loves her, but then she's spending all his money, and then this guy shows up with his wife, and the guy's having an affair with her. She also screwed over the director. She has her rival act. There's just everybody wants to kill her, right? That's the way it goes. And And I'm going to read that, Sal. And so the red herring and the MacGuffin are having a multi-episode long anime fight. Oh, yeah. And so she's going to go off and have an affair. Like, she's going to go meet with her lover, and she's going to go to the beach to meet with the lover, and the lover's being taken to the place to have the affair with a witness. He goes over to go pick her up. She's like laying on the beach and she's all tan and she's got a hat over her head, and he looks at her and he's like, oh no, she's been murdered. So they run off and they say, go and like get help. The person goes to get help. Anyway, the point is, how the story goes is that she's actually not dead at that point in time, because that's not her body. That's actually his wife, who's very, very pale, but who's like put in fake bronzer to make it look like she's the actress. And so everyone thinks that the actress was killed at some point in time, but she actually was killed later, right? So basically they use this whole sort of convoluted thing so that it looks like she's dead, but she's not really dead, because they switched out the bodies, blah, 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 blah. And in order to figure out who the actual murder is, Poirot has to go and realize that there was a bottle of fake tan lotion, and this and like there's this whole convoluted thing that's going on. And in order to solve the mystery, you have to know these very specific things, and that's the only way to figure it out. And that is a particular, and that you only learn certain things as things go on, and it's a whole cozy mystery, and it's all what it is. And that is a particular way to run a game as well. Oh, Greeny says I don't have to sing. We'll see about that. By the way, Sal made a comment, and I'm going to get there as well. And if you want to model that sort of Agatha Christie puzzle mystery, then yes, it's going to follow that particular kind of arc. But I will now say the one word that all mystery writers love. What? But the question becomes, now you all are saying really interesting things that I want to get to. So I like that Gumshoe has a solution for putting the plot relevant clue behind the perception check, or you could always, not put the plot relevant clue behind the perception check. And Levi says, something has to happen. Don't make players roll for it. Seems super obvious to me. Right. But what I'm talking about is the philosophical difference between emergent narrative and set narrative, right? Narrative Chinese puzzle box has got to be tough in an RPG. Well, the first thing I would say is Agatha Christie says Ice Bunny is my hero because she has the same type of dyslexia as I have, and if she can write, there's still hope for me. Of course there is. So here's the thing. We've got like three different things happening with this mystery. One, if you want to do a puzzle box mystery like Agatha Christie, then you don't need to roll at all. Because at that point in time, but for different reasons, right? The reason why you don't need to roll is because if you want to do the Agatha Christie style like that, the trick is that you have players who want to solve the mysteries themselves, right? At Pumpkin, I actually ran a game like that. I actually ran a and then there were none one-shot scenario, where the PCs die one at a time until they find who the murderer is. I actually ran that game. It was really fun. And the murderer was one of the PCs, but the player who was playing the murder didn't know it at the time because it was not recorded. This was an offline game. But the thing is that the person who was doing the murder was being possessed by like an evil, like a ghost. Because somebody screwed somebody over in the past. This ghost was possessing a PC at night when they were sleeping and murdering people. So the player didn't know that. So the player who was the murderer also didn't know that they were the murderer. And so that player was also trying to solve the murder of who the murderer was. And so all the players were trying to figure out who the murderer was. And but none of them but the person who was the murderer didn't actually know that until it actually came out in the end. It was really fun. That was a good time. So if you're going for like full on Agatha Christie style, where the players are really excited about Agatha Christie mysteries, then roles become less important because it's about the players wanting to solve the mystery, not their PCs, right? So this becomes like a meta puzzle where the players themselves need to figure out the puzzle. So they're going to try to like get the clues and work it out the puzzle themselves. It was GURPS Pumpkin. I was running that in GURPS. This is true. The real murder was the friends we made along the way. So in the Agatha Christie, if you want to do full Chinese puzzle mystery, right? The players are people who want as players to solve the mystery. They have characters, but what for them they want is to put all the clues together themselves and work out the mystery themselves. That's important, right? So the roles are not as important because the fun is in actually solving the puzzle. And in that kind of game, the players may fail to solve the puzzle, right? Because this is like full on puzzle style, where it's all about player challenge, right? It's about challenging the players. The friends we stabbed along the way. This is true. The friends we stabbed along the way. Oh, drummer boy, you just need what you need is you need a good GM. You need a good GURPS GM, because you can GM GURPS poorly or you can GM it well, and you would need it, right? You would need a good GM for that one. So right, in full-on Agatha Christie mode, it's all about actually player challenge, which makes that kind of game, it goes for any kind of game. I think that's true. But I do think that it might be that some games are harder to get right than others. So I think, for example, there's some really rules-light, story-heavy games that if you have a bad GM, like, ooh, I think, for example, D&D runs a little bit easier on the GM than some other games. So Control Freak says, now I'm thinking a great detective style story would be a cool short series for a GM-less game. Everyone has their own motives, crime, what to do, and the player who would traditionally be the GM plays as Poirot Holmes, whoever, and tries to find out who actually killed the random rich person. Oh, that would be actually really fun. Dungeon crawls are super hard to get right. I was gonna say, player solving the puzzle seem more typically is very gamist, yes. Right, yes, right. So Pumpkin is making the point that I was wanting to make to get to, right? It was just too crunchy. Like anytime we wanted to do anything, it was 5 minutes a book. That was not my jam. Oh, you can play GURPS you can play it much less crunchy. If you want a crunch, you can do it less crunch. There's a less crunchy way to do GURPS. You can do GURPS more crunchy or less crunchy. You can, because it's module. So if what you want is a non-crunchy version of GURPS, that is super doable. You can just do it with GURPS Lite. If you want more crunch, you can add more crunch in it. It's modular, like it works on a scale. So if what you want is less crunchy, that is doable. That is a doable thing. What if I want to play a Gumshoe style game as Arsène Lupin? Like Fate is for GMs as challenge. I wonder about that. Everybody always goes on about how you're never playing Fate right, but I feel like you can play Fate in more than one way. This is all I'm saying. No. Actually, so the thing about Krell, this is the thing. GURPS does come in creamy. So here's the thing, that I think that mystery that we're talking about, you can play it gamist, you can play it narrativist, and you can play it simulationist. You can play a mystery in either way. And I actually think that doing the Chinese puzzle Agatha Christie way, where the players need to solve it, that's the gamist way of doing it. And it is very similar. I mean, a very different thing you're doing, but it's similar to when you're doing a dungeon crawl where the players have to have skill rather than the PCs, right? Where for the longest time I didn't believe it was possible to ever play any TT. Oh yeah, Creamy GURPS is super usable. I mean, super doable. Like, you have to have the right campaign, the right players, but that's super easy to do. And I love my GURPS with Nutella. This is right. I mean, I'm thinking about where there are all these, like, when you're doing that dungeon full of lots of puzzles and lots of management, and the players themselves have to figure out, like, oh, what is that hole doing there? How do I get out here? And there's no I'm going to have my player roll an intelligence check to figure out how to get through it, because that's not going to happen. But it's actually about the players themselves having to work through the puzzle. And so I think you can play a mystery in that way, where it's about challenging the players, and the PCs are just the vehicle through which that challenge is happening. And so that would be the gamist way of doing it. I realized that my brother zoning out, sleeping, and dicking around his phone instead of playing the game was precisely the incorrect way to play. Yeah, I think so. To be quite honest, as Control Freak, I'd say step one is making them play a lawful good bard in a party of chaotic, neutral, semi-murder hobos. If they can handle that without going insane, they can deal with the cat herding that GMing can sometimes entail. Can we please start calling not crunchy TTRPGs creamy? Can we make that a thing? I think they normally call them fluffy rather than creamy, but you know, because fluffy is a thing. So then the narrativist way of doing it, of doing adventures, which I think is a way a lot of people think about it, is where your player is trying to solve the mystery, right? So in the gamist way, the player is trying to solve the mystery. And whether or not you solve it or not depends on whether or not the player can do it. And for that, you need players who like solving mysteries, right? If they don't like solving mysteries, it's not good for them. In the narrativist way, the characters need to solve the mystery, but you want there to be a good story arc, so you don't want them to fail, right? Because failing the mystery is not fun in a narrativist way, because the narrative ends with you succeeding, right? That's how the plot goes. The plot goes, you have to win, right? You have to succeed. So Greeny Weezy, I see you being there. And so the players have to get the clues, right? So in that narrativist system, in the narrative mindset, there are key clues that they must have, and they must get those key clues in order for the players must get the key clues, the PCs must get the key clues in order to solve the mystery. But if they don't get the key clues, then they can fail to solve the mystery, which ruins the story, because in the story they have to win. So Gumshoe et al. Have made it so that they were just always going to get those key clues. They're never not going to get them, so the story can progress. So we can go from beginning to you get the clues, to the big final moment and the unrevealing, and you win, right? So, but this is fluff versus crunch is lores versus rule, not light versus silly. Oh, okay, Krellin, I see you there. I can see what you're saying. I see you. Light and fluffy is all right. So I think it's an interesting narrative idea. Like, I guess to be truly accurate, you have to win. But if it's just inspired, then do you have to win? I guess, why is failing the mystery a bad story? If you want to play, I will get to Esteni. If you want to play a Chaos Monkey, I'm that Chaos Monkey. SL. So this is why you should play Fiasco, Granny Weasley. If you want to be a Chaos Monkey, Fiasco is the game for you. It's the thing for you. I think the big flaw is saying that the story has to end with the good guys winning. The problem is that that's how narratives work, right? That is how the traditional narrative, Hercule Poirot solves the mystery, right? That's how the mystery goes. Miss Marple and Hercule Poirot, they solve the mystery. So if you want to run that kind of a narrative, they have to solve the mystery in the end. Right? I mean, the victims don't exactly win in And Then There Was None. Victims don't, but right. If you have time for a big bad. But you know that but see, the thing is, you know that Moriarty did it, right? So the thing is, most people who are playing that narrative sense, they do. I mean, and here's the thing. If you do not believe me that that's what they want, there would not be a Gumshoe, right? So, that was retconned, Sal. Sherlock Holmes fell off the waterfall, died. The fans didn't like it, so it was retconned to not be true, right? So he was brought back. And I think that that's the thing, that there wouldn't be a Gumshoe if people thought that failing to solve the mystery was satisfying. Like, the whole reason why Gumshoe as a system exists is, and they will tell you, right? they will tell you that too. They were like, well, the problem with Call of Cthulhu is that sometimes you can fail to get the clue, and therefore the whole thing falls apart. So we're going to solve that problem, right? So the idea that Gumshoe's like, we're a narrativist system. We want the narrative to be good, so the narrative and to be satisfying, and so you have to, like, it's not satisfying not to solve the mystery, not to get all the clues, not to be able to. So in that, like, people who want that are going to be dissatisfied with you if they don't get it. And so, you're going to be not serving the players who want that if you don't give them that. Let me check. None of my players in chat. Good, they're not. The big ending for my Stars What Number campaign has no real good ending. Essentially, someone is going to become a god at the end. It could be one of the players, could be the major antagonist, could be major NPC assistant, or it could be the player ship AI. Given how chaotic all the characters that are valid options are, none of them are really good endings. Cthulhu, that's fun. But because going back to Ania's question from way back, temporary failure makes an interesting narrative, but ending on that kind of failure right? See, Shavai, right? This is the thing. If you are a narrativist in that way, temporary failure is fine because that doesn't happen at the end. It happens in act 2 or 3, right? Right? You get the temporary, so here's the thing. If you're going to go for that narrativist arc, you can have the failure in part 2, because that's just like, you have part 1, set it all up, Star Wars, it's great. But then in Empire Strikes Back, then there's like, oh no, setbacks. But then you win in Act 3, Return of the Jedi, right? So there's the whole idea that the setback is part of that thing that lets you win heroically in the end. I feel like I lean more narrative in how I play games, but I don't know if that's a good fit either then, if we're saying that this is what a good narrative is. Ladies and gents, if you think there will be a game today, we're sorry, tries to look all serious. But here's the thing. There are ways in which you can have tragic narratives. Some people like tragedies, but tragedies also have to fit the successful, satisfying narrative. In the sense that Romeo and Juliet have to die at the end, not in the middle, right? It's not a satisfying narrative in that act for Juliet to die in Act 2, right? So you can have your crit witch. You can have your tragedy, but the tragedy has to happen in the satisfying narrative way if you're being a narrativist about it, right? In the narrativist way, that tragedy happens at the climax in order to be satisfying, right? Hamlet dies at the end, Romeo and Juliet die at the end. You die, if you're going to die, you die at the end, and you usually die in some kind of an epic way or some kind of way that sort of fits with your narrative satisfaction. They die in the middle, right? Yeah, right. You can die, but then you raise as a vampire. So, let me ask you this question, Aseni. Let me ask you. Or when the characters you thought were the main characters die, yeah. But the problem with RPGs is that if you're a PC, then you are a main character. So let me ask you this question, Aseni. Let's say you're playing a game, all right? Let's say you make a character, you craft this character lovingly, really interesting character you're really excited about. You want to sort of find out what happens to them. And you're planning a long-term campaign that's going to last 12 to 15, like at least 12 to 15 sessions, maybe more. And you come out with your character. It's very exciting. And this is where I think that we can explore these things. So your character comes out and you are you're in a world. Let's say it's a kind of a you are not particularly powerful yet because we've just started the campaign, and you are in 1920s Chicago, let's say, and you know that Al Capone exists in this world, and you also know that Al Capone is very violent and quick to be brutal to people if he feels insulted. So you're at a nightclub, and there's Al Capone. And you decide that you want to Also, do you have a character arc in mind for your character? If you do, you're probably a narrativist. So you decide to maybe like insult Al Capone a little bit, right? To maybe just do a little bit of that, right? To set up a nice thing. Now, do what you want to have happen. Here's my question. So you insult a little bit of Al Capone in this nightclub in front of somebody. What do you want to happen next, Esteni? Why would you? Hey, players do weird things sometimes. Don't ask me why players do weird things. Players do weird things. So what do you want after you insult Al Capone? Do you want there to be a fight and then you find out what happens, but Al Capone is at the same level that you are, so it's a fair fight, and then you fight and you see what happens, and maybe you win, maybe you don't, but it is a fair fight? 2, do you want Al Capone to beat you up and then throw you out of the club so that you can come back and get him later at the end of the story? Or are you okay with him just killing you outright because he's got a lot more stuff than you do, and then your character is done, and that all that work you did to make that character is thrown out the window because Al Capone just killed you in like episode 1 of the show, of the game? Which one? Where are you at? Where are you at in terms of the things that you want? Players do really weird things, is what I'm trying to say. I want Al Capone to let you walk away, and you get home and you've seen your wife and kids horribly murdered. See, Iffy says that last option is not my jam. Iffy is not a simulationist. I mean, I brought that on myself for doing something stupid. I'm fine with him killing me. So that's the thing that. But here's the thing, that players want different things. And if there should be a lot more than 3 options, well, like 3 basic options, right? Do you want what would actually happen in real life to happen? So like basically, do you want there to be a fair fight? Do you want it to be a good story? Or do you want to happen what would happen in real life, even if that means that you die in not an interesting way, right? So those are the sort of the 3 overall sort of approaches to a game. I broke a cursed stone, licked a cosmic space goo off the stone, and then became possessed by the stone. I am a bad player. It depends on the kind of style the game you're playing. The kind of play style dictates whether or not that's okay or not. Right? So I would fight him, win, and be the new mafia boss. Right? So then I'm probably a simulationist narrativist, some kind of mix depending on the scenario. And that sounds grinny like you might be a gamist. That's all. Death can be cool, it can be disappointing, but it also gives me the option to make a new character, and characters are fun to explore. Right, so that sounds like a character simulationist. Esteni is probably what I would say. Like, if you're okay with dying in a not narratively satisfying way, then that sounds like you're a character simulationist, where you're interested in exploring the character and see what happens to the character, and you're okay with that character dying in a stupid way if that's what would happen, or the character failing if that's what would happen, which sounds like a character simulationist to me. But I mean, the thing in the end is, and the thing is, a person can play in all different styles, right? The original model is about game design, really is about sort of how one designs adventures and how one designs games. Like me, I make sure that I can GM all different styles. If somebody says to me, well, we want you to do a gamist dungeon crawl, I will do that. If somebody says, we want you to do a real narrativist game, I can do that too. If they say you want to do a simulationist game, I can do that too. So a person can do multiple things. You'd prefer a cool story arc. And for me, the story is what it, because I am very much, I also like for the GM to cover the character, I prefer to know ahead of time, right? Because you're not a simulationist, Iffy. You're more of a narrativist. I just want to kick the Elder God. Oh, darn. Throws you away and gets another sheet out of folder. Repeat as necessary. So it sounds to me, Iffy, that you're a narrativist. Right, you want the story. You have an idea of how you want the story to happen, and you dying is not part of a good part of the story unless it's at like a dramatic moment. Right, so that sounds like you're more of a narrativist. But of course, again, you can do different things. I'm going to stab in the back, killing, become the supreme mob queen. For me, my play depends on the length of the campaign, if that's known or not. I like narrative more, but proper tools for proper jobs. The power gamer. They're a lot like gamers, but they have to win. Yeah, I buy it. Although it's tricky, right? Because what are you going to do? Not punch the sun? The sun's right there. It's taunting you to punch it. If your character dies in the session before the end of the game, it depends on the style of gamer you are. But I would also sort of say that I think that it's important to note that for me, I tend to think about two different tools. So gamist narrativist simulationist was meant to describe game design, whereas Robin Laws has player character types, and the player types are different from those. He has like 5 or 7 player types, and that they're not. I gotta go mod some boring ass Destiny stream. Fine, Grinny, leave. Just go lick some like god rocks and leave. Make like a tree and leave. It's fine. Also, Grinny, play some Fiasco. Oh, hey, Grinny. Wait, Grinny, before you leave, Stenny is a wonderful Fiasco facilitator. If she's going to be running Fiasco anytime in the near future, you should totally play with her. Stenny, if you're running Fiasco sometime in the near future, Grinny's a huge chaos monkey. You should totally play with her. I'm just saying that's all that should happen. I'm saying. The Handsome Jack collection is free on PS Plus right now. Handsome Jack. I will look at it. That's what I will do. So I think just putting it together, putting people together. So I think the thing I wanted to say was that there are like player motivations and Grinny, Irway hey the anime. Irway hey the anime. Iway at gay away at lay of way at stay ute at gay leang way oh. Irway hey the anime. They I skays are ani say. Old man the adiation pre uya u3 uvi este o young rayo. Ewe evne idre ed leans lay of wed brands lay ute day. And we see the and lord we look at the eye get right in the eye. Thank you so much, Grinny. It is much appreciated. That is amazing. You've got all the thing. Oh, so good. Airway and hey that anime. Anime. Oh, it's so good. I love a good anime. I have been working so hard. The thing is, here's the thing, Mr. Monkey, about that. I know how to speak Pig Latin, and so I know what the lyrics are, so I can translate. But the problem is that, and this is where, and I'm still working on it. That Ginger Rogers doesn't actually translate it into just bog standard Pig Latin. She actually does these little things here or there so that she can get the rhythm right. And so there are these little things that are not standard Pig Latin that she does that I still need to work out. So for example, Irway in Hey the anime. So Irway in Hey the anime. So in real Pig Latin, she should say Irway in Hey. Well, actually, first off, let's just note this. Normally in Pig Latin, if there's a vowel in the front, you say way at the end. So earway, she says that, earway. Well, actually, earway would be weir, right? So that's fine. Earway in hey, she uses an H rather than a W. So earway in hey, interesting. She could say inway, and sometimes she does use W's, but there she uses an H. I think she likes it better. Earway in hey, she says the, she doesn't turn that into Pig Latin. She should say they, but she doesn't. So she says irwe inhe the anime. So I'm like, okay, so she's all right. Then she says, so I had to realize that she doesn't actually use Pig Latin on the there, but sometimes she does. So for example, when she says, we're in the money, the skies are sunny, she says, irwe inhe the anime, they I skays are unise. So she says they, so she makes that, she does use Pig Latin on the right there. They I skays are, she doesn't Pig Latin that one, unise. So sometimes she doesn't Pig Latin a word, sometimes she does, and it's so that she can get the right rhythm that she wants to get so it sings right. We've got a lot of what it takes to get along. Ivwe atge owe atle avwe. I just lost my place. Ivwe atge owe atle avwe utwe itwe exte ute itge eleangweo. She adds an O just because she likes it. So she does all of that pretty standard. But then we've got a lot of what it takes to get along. We're in the money. The skies are sunny. Old man depression, you're through. You've done us wrong. Here she does something really weird. She's like, old May. Right? She doesn't say old way, she says old May, which I think is this way to sort of move into old man. Old May and D-A, she like, when she says, so she should say old man depression, which would be old way and May at a depression day, but she doesn't say that. She says, old May and D-A, D-esh and pray. Like she breaks up the syllables and adds stuff in there. So she starts old May and D-A, Pression day, urye uthre uvie aste eweangreo. So like I've been like listening to her over and over and over again to figure out what kind of weird subtle changes she makes so that I can actually get the rhythm right. And I'm still not 100% right. Like I just realized she doesn't say like andle ordle. I think she actually uses only. Anyway, the point is that I've been listening to her a lot, trying to get that down, and I still don't have it completely 100% right because when I sing alongside her, my rhythm gets a little bit off. So I'm still working on getting it perfect, and I will get it perfect. It's not there yet, but it will be. Yeah, she's changing the syllable count for singability, but also she's doing these kind of interesting rhythmic syncopations. Like she's using, and this is why she's brilliant. She's really brilliant, right? She is using the Pig Latin. She's not being like, can I fit it in the time? She's also, can I use the Pig Latin to create kind of jazz syncopations? And then she does, and you're like, oh wow, that's so cool. So Ginger Rogers is brilliant. Like she's this brilliant Pig Latin singer. She's really jazzy. She can do amazing syncopations, and just getting right getting her sense of singability. Because what's fascinating, right? Sorry, because it's so amazing what she does. You know what? We're here. I can make you listen to it because we are in this moment. Hold on. Let me make you listen to it. Hey, YouTube. I can't believe you brought this up. YouTube, it was really, this is what happens. I'm going to get distracted by Pig Latin. YouTube.com. It's really amazing. So here we go. Let me get Ginger Rogers Pig Latin. Let me just play it for you so that it's not very long, so you can hear what she's doing that I'm working on. I still don't have it just completely perfect. I usually have the Pig Latin right, but here we go. Listen.
praying the I we're in the money, oh, I'm on the honey. Let's let it, spend it, send it, rolling around.
You know what? I feel like, hold on a second. I'm gonna quit out of where the water tastes like wine, and I'm going to move tab to a new window. I'm going to make you actually watch her sing it because it's so amazingly freakily awesome. And I just want you to see it here. Hold on. So we're going to go all the way back to the beginning, and I want you to hear it just one more time. Just one more time.
We're in the money, oh, I'm on the honey. Let's let it, spend it, send it, rolling around.
Right? Here, let's go back over here. Hey. Oh, like it's just, that outfit does look like it's prone to wardrobe malfunctions, and that is true. Yeah, she didn't blink for like a minute. Like, that whole clip is just completely insane. Hey, Busby Berkeley, being all weird. Like, it's, so like, it's, and like, I really want to get, like, I've got, the first two lines I've got no problem. Like, that part I've got, the old man depression. So, and then like we never read headlines about bread lines today. Like, I've got that no problem. But the line when she says, old man depression, you're through, you've done us wrong. Like, in the original version, it's old man we're in the money, we're in the money. We've got a lot of what it takes to get along. I can do that part. We're in the money, the skies are sunny. I can do that. Old man depression, you're through, you've done us wrong. Right, so that's like a very different rhythm than what she does. She has this completely different rhythm, which is, and also melodically she shifts it, and it's so cool what she does. And I still don't have it right because like she does this weird cool shift. Like she does this thing where she just like elongates this one vowel, and I think it's on you've, for you've done us wrong. Anyway, I still have to work on that one because it's really hard. Like, that line that she does is really, really hard to get rhythmically right and melodically right. And I just like, when I'm not on stream with you all, I just like sit there and I play it over and over again, and I listen to it and I play it over and over again, and I try to sing along with. And one of these days I will get there. That rhythm would mess me up real bad. I can clap polyrhythms, but that boggles my, like, yeah, drummer boy, like you know rhythm, like that, like she does this thing. It's so like hard. Like, it is hard what she does. I have just the, listen. She's gonna do it again. Listen, right here. Yeah, I'm gonna get that one day, and I'm gonna be so proud of myself. I'm gonna just like have it. And right now, when I sing it myself, what I do is I do the actual Pig Latin, mostly in time, but I don't yet have her really cool thing that she does, and I want to get that so bad. And one of these days, like when I'm singing for you, I'm giving you the Pig Latin, but she's doing something different in that line, and I don't yet have it, but I'm gonna get it. I'm going to get it. Yeah, like it's so cool. I sing in front of myself on the computer all the time. There is not sheet music for this song in Pig Latin. Yeah, the thing she does with it's old May and DA. It sounds like it slips a little bit from the downbeat to an upbeat in the middle of the bar. Yeah, the scoop is deep and it sounds so good. Like, it's so good. I love what she does. Right? Like just listening to it is so strange and odd. And you're like, what are you doing? Why is this so cool? Why is this happening? And why is the camera panned so close to your face right now? What is happening? And I've just got to figure out what she does, because she does a little bit of rhythmic slippage so that she can do this really cool scoop, and I've got to get it. So at the moment when I'm singing for you all, I'm giving you the textbook Pig Latin, but I've got to figure it out. Like, I've got to figure out what's going on there. And I will figure it out. And and you'll know, oh my gosh, like there's going to be a day when Bits will come in and I'm going to sing it. I'm going to get that one line just the way that she has it. And it will be epic. It will be so cool. And I'll be so proud of myself. And I don't know what everybody else will be thinking, but it won't matter because I'll be like, yes, I've got the Ginger Rogers Pig Latin moment. Wow. Like that is like life goals for me. Life goals for me. They knew people would call shenanigans if they didn't get the 3/4 headshot. And it's so close to her face that no one can see the wardrobe malfunctions. So she's like, look at me do this. Oh my gosh, right? Oh, for Lo Santo, yes. Pass the gosh darn butter. Yeah, that'll get you the polyrhythm 3/4. But here's the thing. Backwards and heels. And I just want to say that what happened, here's the story about this moment. So this was not originally supposed to be in the film. The Pig Latin was not originally supposed to be in Gold Diggers. She was just supposed to sing We're in the Money, just sing it like normal. That was the plan. But Ginger Rogers, before she went into film, she was on vaudeville and she would sing songs in Pig Latin. That was one of the things that she would do. Like that's what she did professionally. Like she would go and sing hits of the day, translate into Pig Latin on the stage. So like, Shine on Harvest Moon, she'd sing it in Pig Latin. And she had this amazing skill of being able to sort of sing things in Pig Latin. And it was on the set, they were filming, they were like in between takes, and she was just joking around and she was like showing off her skill of singing in Pig Latin. So she just started singing the song, which is a brand new song, right, for the movie. She's just singing it in Pig Latin. And the director saw her and heard her and was like, oh my gosh, that's amazing. We have to put it in the movie. And so she then put it in, like they put in the movie, her amazing Pig Latin skills. And I mean, do you know what I'm saying to you? I feel like you know what I'm saying. And if there's one thing, if I could go back, do you know what I mean? Like, well, here's what life is, right? I was going to say if I could go back in the past, I would love to go and see her perform this on vaudeville, but I somehow imagined I probably wouldn't be allowed in the theater. So that would probably be an issue because segregation. But if I could get a recording of her, if somebody could go in and record her performing, well, here's the thing about, yeah, right, I probably wouldn't be able to go. But if I were to be able to time travel, the only way that I could see me being able to time travel effectively is if I could be invisible and incorporeal and could just float around places. And I could just like go through walls and like see things and be like, oh, I could see a thing, right? But body jump to the past would work too. If I could body jump and I could be like, I want to. What happens if you get killed when you're body jumped? Do you just pop out or do you die? That would be a bit of a question. Missile Monkey says, I'd want to hang out with the Rat Pack just so I could call Frank Sinatra an idiot occasionally. Oh, yeah, that would be good. Show up to a vaudevillian with a smartphone. That would be something. But they wouldn't even know what you were doing. You'd have to like have a good case for it. Body jumping or perhaps a hologram projector might be necessary. Body jumping would be weird for consent reasons. Oh, yeah, what did they do in Quantum Leap? Did you die or did you not die in Quantum Leap? That would be my question. Oh, it's like in the Christmas Carol, you pop out since the body is not yours. That could be it. By the way, I feel pretty good about not wearing that brace for almost the whole stream. Almost. I feel pretty good about that. You get ejected. I actually have a character that does something pretty similar in Mutants and Madsen Science. Oh, that seems cool. I want to go back to this one thing about maybe this is a different Christmas Carol we're thinking of. Maybe. So I was thinking also about differences between how you see obstacles. So let's go rather than death, let's go with the locked door, right? So a lot of people play their game, their RPG with, there's a locked door. What do you do? And they're like, I try to pick the lock. And you're like, oh, you fail. Oh no, so now you can't get through the door. And why do you should have oh my gosh, I should have a podcast talking about old music called Vaudeville. That would be amazing. That's the best name ever. Best name ever. I love it. I don't. Your hand can thank us for Riku in chat. Oh, that's probably true. That's probably true. Vaudeville is the best name ever. It's the best name ever. It's a good question. I'm going to get that. So here's the thing about the door, right? So people are like, oh no, you failed to pick the lock of the door, so you can't get through, right? And so then the plot stops because you couldn't get through the door. And this is, so Missile Monkey, right, hits my point, is that I feel like if the player tries to pick the lock, they fail their pick the lock roll, and then everything stops. That doesn't seem to me the way the real world works, right? I just think we're not going to get our... Oh, we could do that, actually. We could do that. We're going to do our giveaway area, which is a music rhythm game. So just make sure you're speaking in the last, in the next 5 minutes or so. Make sure you say something, and then we will. Then I'll do the giveaway. Thank you for reminding me, Anio. So here's the thing. Because when I'm running the way I like to run Simulationist. If they come up to me and they say, we try to pick the lock on this door, and they don't get in because they fail to pick that lock. See, okay, right? Here we go. This is what I'm trying to say, Pumpkin. Oh, hey, Moopin, thanks for the hug. Oh, thank you for the hug. I don't think of the story ending because they couldn't pick the lock. I just feel like they can now do other things. Remember when encountering doors and dungeons that are locked, kick the hinges. Thank you. Evil overlords will fit great new locks, but the minions will never maintain the rusty old hinges. Call the locksmith. These are all options. If he dies, his soul travels astrally and looks for a new host that is dying. He waits for the soul to leave, and then he jumps in. Oh. Ooh. Food. I want food. Yeah, right. For me, there's a different story about what I have a different way of thinking. See, like, I don't think the story is... So for me, when I'm doing a sandbox, when I'm doing Simulationist, the story is, there is not a pre-existing story that you can fail to follow, right? It's not that there is, right? Yes. See, thank you. Yes. All of these things. Yes. Asceni says maybe leave the door alone and do something else. Right. So for me, I do not think of if I'm running a narrativist game, then I will do it this way because you're supposed to, right? But for me, there isn't a story that goes from here to here that the players then can fail or succeed to follow along on. The story is what happens. For me, the story is what happens. And if they cannot... Right, yeah, I mean... Yes, all of these things are so great, right? You can... If you can't get through the door, you can call a locksmith. You can break the hinges. You can burn the door down. You can knock on the door. You can decide not to go through the door, but go through a window. You can decide that this is not a thing you want to do right now. You want to do something else. You can put poison gas through the door and make the people who are in come out. Like, there are just so many... There's so many things that could happen besides that one thing. You can tunnel through the wall... tunnel a wall next to the door. Someone can leave through the door. You can turn incorporeal. Right? So this is like, so Asceni is like, yes, exactly. The story is either how do they figure out how to open the door, or what do they do when they give up? And that's, for me, that becomes, you can use the doorbell, right? I had an entire campaign where we were unwitting murder hobos because we always failed our diplomacy stealth and had to resort to aggression, thus getting more points in aggression and so on and so forth. And the thing is, for me, if there's a door, how do I put this? Never in my mind, if I'm running a game the way I prefer running a game, never in my mind, if they do not fail to pick the lock, does the story end. The story becomes something else. And it might be, or my Marine Front solution when they couldn't get through the door, find a wall, make a door. Yeah. Or, I mean, and here's the thing, and I'm going to say this is also true. You can fail to pick a lock on a door. That is true. But you can't really fail to take those hinges off. And if they tell me they're going to take the hinges off, then they're going to take the hinges off. Like I might have them roll to find out how long it takes them, but that's just going to happen. Do you know what I mean? Like or pull instead of push, and then they actually just made through that way. This is right. At times, a failed locking might just be followed by a further attempt, taking more time, and that's also true, Shavai. Like you might also just decide to take more time. And I think the hinges are on the inside, friends. And I just think about the ways in which, for me, the story is what happens, right? When I think about a story, it is what happens. And maybe what happens is that they can't get in the door quietly, or they can't get in the door quickly, but maybe they have to just take that pickaxe and just break down the door, or maybe they do something else, and that becomes the new part of the story. The new part of the story is, okay, so the dwarf takes his great axe, or the barbarian, cuts through the wooden door, makes huge amounts of noise, and it takes a while to do it. Now what? Right? You just made a lot of noise. And maybe when you go in, there's nobody in there, and that's cool. But now the door's been broken in, and it's really obvious the door's been broken in. So now what do? Like you make it out of there, but now there may be other consequences down later because it was really clear somebody busted this door down with an axe. Oh, what do you do now? And that becomes really interesting. I think that's like really exciting. And yeah, right. So like that's just really interesting to me, right? And so although I feel like I'm playing my current Firebrands game super narrativist instead of my normal characters. Yeah, and the thing is, right, you have less time to look around, right? And actually, Steny, when I'm running Cthulhu Confidential, which is a narrativist game, I run it narrativist, right? Because that's what the game is. Because I mean, the thing is, I like to think of myself as a flexible person. I can play in different styles. Like if you want me to do a super gamist dungeon crawl, I can do that too. Like, I mean, I can do multiple things. And I will say this, I think I've said this before, but the kind of story that I like to do where the story is what happens, right, takes time. In the sense that like, that's not a really great, I don't tend to do that when I have only one session, if it's a one shot or there's only 1 to 2 sessions, like that's usually not a satisfying experience if you have only 1 or 2 or 3 sessions total. For that to really come into its own, you really need to have time for it to, I am a Switch Krellin. You need to have time for that to sort of really breathe and come into its own. So if I have like a one shot, then we're going to have rails, right? But if you have more time, then you do different things if you have more time, is what I would say. First, the axe in the bottom of the bag of holding all the way down. Right. Yeah. One shot, you got to be linear with the one shot. You just don't have time. Do you know what I mean? Like you don't have time for that breathing. One shot the door. And I think, and here's the thing, I actually, here's the thing, Missile Monkey, sometimes players want rails. Sometimes that's what makes them most happy. And if the players really want the rails, then you kind of have to give them rails. But I like to try to figure out what the players want before we go there. You know what I mean? So I can figure out what we're going to do. Yeah, you know what I mean. Oh, we're gonna do our giveaway now. That's right. See, Krellin is correct. Rails make the ride super smooth, and sometimes players want a super smooth ride. That's what they want, and then you're gonna, you give it to them. You give them like little branching rails, woo, 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 and you just have to know. And there's nothing wrong with that style either. Like that's totally fine. You can have a super smooth, 4 different. Oh, Levi says, I propose 4 different campaigns and the players pick the most railsy one. That sometimes happens. We're playing Firebrands, which is designed for one-shots, but we're stretching it out over multiple sessions. And instead of just playing to find out, I'm doing like thinking about character arcs and satisfying conflicts and resolution. Yeah. That's right. That's exactly right. Con games are generally on rails because you only have 4 hours. It's like you have 3 to 4 hours max. Sometimes you only have 2 hours. You got to go. And rails do have potential turnoffs, but they're not infinite, right? Like well done rails can be great, but poorly made rails are very easy to notice and give rails a bad name. Yeah. That's right. I think also, welcome back, Anna Geeks. And I think this is right. I think that the best rails And sometimes they want to make you get rid of your notes and spend D3. Yeah, this is true. More like burn the building. The store still stands. Well done Rails should make you not realize you're on Rails, probably. Yeah. Oh, I hope the cat's okay. It's interesting because, how do I put this? What I think that people don't perhaps appreciate is that there are good Rails players, right? The best Rails, I think, are when the players don't realize they're on Rails, but they do realize because they also play along in certain ways. And the thing about Rails can have railways have turnoffs, right? They have turnoffs. Poor thing was just in a dangerous spot. Oh, okay, good. I'm glad the cat is okay. Right, like you want players can't ruin your notes if you don't make notes. Oh, I know what you're talking about, Krellin. I know. So I think the thing is, like, if you think about players who are Rails players, right? It's a dance. If you want to do Rails really well, right? The road, the path, the rail, however you want to do it, the roller coaster. When it goes really well, both players are doing a dance together, right? It's like social dancing. Like if you're doing a waltz, there are set steps that you're playing and that you're going to dance, and everybody knows what they are, and everybody does them. People don't mess it up. But if you're doing your waltz really well, it feels effortless and it feels smooth and beautiful, and you don't feel like you're trapped, right? Like if you do your dance, if you're doing like a wonderful Viennese waltz around the floor, you do have to follow the line of dance. And you are doing these specific steps, but if you do it well, both the lead and the follow are together, and it just feels beautiful, and you don't feel hemmed in. You feel freed, right? Yes, Asceni knows. DM dangles plot hook. Player accepts the plot hook because it's expected. The DM should not hammer you with the plot hook. The DM should dangle the plot hook, and then the player takes the plot hook, and it's like a dance together, right? You do it together. Now, here's the thing. If the players like Rails and they play with a sandbox GM, it doesn't work because the sandbox GM does not do the kind of plot hooks in the same way. And the players get frustrated because they're like, where's our plot hook? They don't say that, but that's what sometimes actually they do say that. But if the player expects to get that dance, and if you are not giving them that dance, it's going to be unsatisfying, right? They're not going to enjoy that experience at all because they're waiting for that particular sort of dance. They don't want free jazz, right? That's not what they were there. That's not what they were there to play for. They're not playing the free jazz. But it's super fun and enjoyable to create a harmonious story together. Rails are fun for me, assuming I don't feel like I'm forced on a certain rail. But it is important for that to work. I need a character that wants right. That's exactly right. So the rails have got, and that's I think the beauty of Dungeons and Dragons, D&D, is that the players are already on the rails when they make their character, right? They're like, oh, I'm going to make a character who wants to adventure. So they already accepted the plot hook. There's the contract is they want to go on an adventure. So they're going to make a character who wants to go on an adventure. And then the GM will say, hey, here's a person who wants to send you on an adventure. And then the players just say yes, right? So there's the dance in that moment. If the players are in that set where they want that, and the GM says, okay, you're in Waterdeep, what do you do? That's no good for the player who likes the rails because they're like, well, okay, where's the adventure, right? You know what I mean? And so that there's a disconnect. There's a disconnect between player expectations and what they're getting if the player is used to that particular kind of rail style. And I want to make it very clear, good games on Rails are not fascist, right? It's like a good dance. I mean, but what if you, like me, don't want to be the followers, especially with someone who had dance class and only knows Disco Fox? Well, but you don't have to be the follower. You can be the GM. Do you know what I mean? You can be the GM. Oh yeah, Shadowrun is also super Railsy by nature. It seems like it's not, but it also has a real Railsy style, but that's not necessarily bad. Players and GMs can also mold themselves into the other style, but it's less natural. It might be less comfortable to start to flex into that other. Oh, and players can, I mean, I will tell you, I am, some games in Rails are fascist, but mostly when yes, that's exactly right. It gets bad when there's a player GM disconnect. That's when it gets bad. And that's when I think people are like, what was this? This is terrible. Right? Because basically you can do it poorly. Like if you do it well, yeah, there here are all these NPCs. Who do you talk? Like, oh, I don't know. I almost always work together with the GM to make sure the character fits the game. Generally meaning creating a character that will go along well with the expected. You know what? Since I can just do this is what I can do. They require line jumping. This is true. By the way, I want to find out who our winner is for our game. Since we've been talking, Missile Monkey. Hey, Missile Monkey, guess what? You won our giveaway. I want to give you Aereo, which is a music rhythm game that you can do on the Steam. Congratulations for the win. That is super awesome. Oh, I'm going to whisper you the code. I'm going to whisper you the link. Congratulations, Missile Monkey. That is so awesome. That makes me so happy. I really love giving away games. It makes me it just makes my day is what it does. So thank you for letting me do that. Congratulations. I had that when I played Monster Hearts as a one-shot. I'm learning to be a better player, but we definitely clashed because he was telling a story on Rails and I wasn't expecting that. Yeah. And I think that and I will say this, if you've ever done a lot of social dancing, there are bad leads, right? There are people who are really bad leads. They don't pay attention to you at all. They don't pay attention to what you're like as a dancer, and they just sort of manhandle you around the dance floor, and that's bad Rails. Do you know what I mean? Like that's no good. And then there are people who are like not on Rails, but also in a really bad way where you're just like, I don't even know what you're doing right now. Like, I don't even know what I'm supposed to be doing, and it's not set up so that nobody knows what's happening and no one's having fun either. So I think that's really about sort of getting a really good player GM harmony in their expectations. But I will say this, I'm actually pretty good at converting Rails players to Sandbox players. I have done it quite a lot. Now, if a person has tried Sandbox and doesn't like Sandbox, there's really nothing I can do about it. Yes, Pumpkin, this is also true. Amazing GMs get some of their Rail pieces from the players. That is also correct, because just because something is on Rails doesn't mean that the players aren't sometimes the ones building those Rails, right? Like that's also like beautiful and wonderful. I was still in my hardcore character simulationist space, so it was like everybody's going to a pep rally, and I was like, but I'm a ghost reliving my life, so I sit in class. Yep, Esteni, yep, that's exactly right. This is you. You are a character simulationist, my friend. I am also a character simulationist, so like I totally get where you're coming from. I get it. And like there's a bit of It is very important to discuss the exact style of game before the start of the game. I think there are a fair few GMs that are used to playing with a certain groups they don't even recognize the needs. Yeah. Javai, this is I think so crucial, and that I think how do I put this? One of the things that I think is the biggest problem with D&D's dominance for so long, and why I'm so glad that there are more games that are really different. There's nothing wrong with D&D, but oh no, thank you for listening. I think it does really well. Totally non-related question. Did you have some food? No, I'm good. I had food. I had breakfast, and then I'm going to eat after we finish stream. Yeah, I didn't understand it at all, so I didn't have a lot of fun. I thought it was the game, but now I'm convinced it was just a GM player expectation class. Essentially, that's what it sounds like. It sounds like a GM player expectation class. Yeah, thank you, Krellin. Krellin, I appreciate you just finished my thought. You finished my thought for me, right? The problem is that the Gygaxian jamming style being the default, right? That so many, like, because D&D was such a dominant game, and D&D never really, like, people thought that that's what GMing was and the only way to actually GM. And so there was never any discussion about what we're doing, because everyone assumed that we all knew what we were doing, right? It became so normalized that you would have these clashes. And I remember having clashes thinking, well, maybe I just don't like D&D, when actually it was a player GM clash is what it was, right? Oh, good night, Missile Monkey. Good night. Have a good evening. Sleep well. Sleep well. And what I think has been really good about all of these new games, even games that I may not like, is that they have made clear that there are different styles of GMing, that maybe we should have a conversation about it, right? Sometimes it happens, Esteni, where it's just talking about the TRPGs. I should probably be more, deliberate and intentional about that, and decide that we're just going to go and talk about RPGs and have a specific topic before we start it one of these times. I should probably just do that. But I think what's been really good, and here's the thing I'll say about gamist, narrativist, sometimes equals usually, gamist, narrativist, simulationist, is that I know that people attacked them back in the day. Ron Edwards, they're like, oh, this is so stupid. They attacked him for it. And I know that now people are like, oh, we don't talk about that anymore. That's no longer interesting. The best thing for me about gamist, simulationist, narrativist is that it said, hey, there are different styles and we need to talk about them. Now, maybe you think of the styles a little bit differently than he does, and I don't adopt his way of his framing exactly the same way. He's a bit more rigid than I tend to think about it. But one of the things I thought was really brilliant about that whole Forge community, out of which things like Burning Wheel came, is that it said we need to think about style, right? We need to think about that there are different approaches to the way that we game in a way that wasn't really made overt before. And I thought that was brilliant. I will always give great love to that whole Forge crew, out of which Burning Wheel came, Dogs in the Vineyard, a bunch of things, and even, a couple generations down, even Powered by the Apocalypse, really, is that it said we actually have to think about what we're doing here, and we need to make these things more overt. And I think that was really good. I think that was really, really good. And I agree with you, Krellin. I think that maybe over the summer I should just have an RPG stream day where we just talk about streams. That's all. 18 weeks equals 4.5 months for Where the Water Tastes Like Wine. Yes, bring in. And, here's the thing, and I want to say this, I think this is really interesting, that, of course, clearly there were other styles of gaming before the Forge, right? Of course there were. I mean, I think that for me, the minute I found Call of Cthulhu, I was like, oh, wow, right? That this is totally different. And also, of course, Vampire, bunches of games really gave you were very clearly in different modes, but people weren't as self-conscious about it. And that, I think, really helped. Like, I think the Forge being really self-conscious about talking about difference in style was really important to making gaming basically better. Okay, Anna's here for like RPG Chat Thursdays. I see it. Oh, I'm sad that your Call of Cthulhu game fell through as well. There's a book that I'm very excited about. Chaosium has out on PDF, but not yet out on hard copy. Their Weimar Berlin, Call of Cthulhu Weimar Berlin book, which Where the Water Tastes Like Wine, how to get the most bang for your buck. You get all the Where the Water Tastes Like Wine. Get on it. I need to run some Call of Cthulhu, really. Yeah, Trava was. Trava was probably the first simulationist game. I totally agree with that one, and one of the first RPGs. You're all tempting me, peoples. You're all, because I have got Masks of Nyarlathotep and also the Horror on the Orient Express. I've got some classics. Just saying. I'll look into it. We'll ponder this. We have to finish Where the Water Tastes Like Wine. We have to do that. Oh, I loved playing. I will tell you, I had so much fun playing Fiasco with Esteni. I was playing a kind of a Donald Trump type. I was the worst. It was so good. Yeah, but we will get some. By the way, I'm gonna finish Where the Water Tastes Like Wine. Just clearly not today. Oh yeah, no, Call of Cthulhu is it's a good system. I'm excited about some of the changes they made for 7th edition, so that's really cool. So I think that being able to really sort of theorize like what it is that we're doing helps us make those conversations, have those conversations, so that we can have a better game, and that's because I think about all the games that I had that would have just been more fun if we'd had the conversation about what it was that we were doing. And that conversation has to be more than, hey, we're playing D&D, because there are many different ways to play D&D. And so I'm really glad that we're now in a space where we can have where we actually know that we should have those conversations. And that's good. That's really good. I just wanted to say there was one last thing, because we're getting to the end time. But, Krellin tells me, Trooper, you should check out this system my group played last week called Through the Breach. Oh, I'm always interested in games that use cards. Through the Breach. I will check it out. There was a thought that I wanted to finish. Oh, I know what I was going to say. I was going to say that I'm actually pretty good at converting Rails players to sandbox players, and I should probably make a whole stream about this, actually. I made an Australian farmer who went to Cambridge to learn magic. Oh, that's cool. I should probably do a stream, not on a Thursday, where we just talk about this topic. But I will say, to be brief, I won't go into all the details, that one of the reasons why I am successful at translating, as turning Rails players into sandbox players, you should definitely check out our Monday night stream of Firebrands. Ooh, yes, I should. Monday night? Where and when, Asteni? Where and when? Oh, I like this. Oh, that seems really interesting, Krellin. I want to check that out. Asteni, where and when on Monday? Tell me. RPG combo stream in Pig Latin. I want to GM a sandbox after the last stream where you talked about sandbox. Kelsa Delphi. 8:30 Eastern. I do wish more Critical Role fans getting to TRPGs would think about other systems instead of trying to alter D&D. But that's a time-worn tradition. The only part I pre-planned was the Cambridge Mage, because Oxford mages were mentioned as a thing, and I said, but I went to Cambridge. No, that's brilliant. Oh, I should check that out. So I want to actually talk about sandboxing a bit more specifically, how to do it. But I will just say this before I get some food. One of the reasons why I have a lot of success, I think, turning Rails players into sandbox players, is because altering D&D is so easy if that's what you have decades of experience. This is true, Anna Geeks. This is true. If you know it like the back of your hand, all of a sudden, right, this is what you are worked through. And here's why. Because in my experience, a lot of Rails players have never played anything else besides Rails. And many of them, I think, would actually enjoy sandbox, living world, emergent sort of stories playing, but they have just never played it before and they don't know how. So you can't just throw them into a living world and think they're going to have fun. They probably won't, because they don't know how to play in that style. They have spent, branching out is fun because it just makes you a better player in GM if you can get more stuff in there. Because the Rails players, and it's true, playing more systems will make their D&D games better as well. That is true. That is 100% true, Anna. So the thing is, those D&D players, or those Rails players, let's call it, have spent a long time gaining skills. They have gained really good skills and important skills and valuable skills in how to play a Rails game really well. Like, they are the best followers. Like, you want those players in your game if you're going to do, like, you want to Viennese waltz with them because they're amazing to waltz with. And they know how to do it. They know how to waltz in ways that are subtle and cool, and you have the best fun with them. And they know how to do it. They know how to pick up on the hooks. They actively seek out hooks. They pick them up. They follow them. They know how to not derail in a way that is not fun. Like, they're great, but they haven't necessarily developed the skills to play in a sandbox. And it's not fair to them to just drop them in a sandbox and expect them to know what to do, because they don't know yet. They've not done it. So what you have to do is you have to basically ease them into the experience and sort of help them develop the skills to play in a sandbox effectively. And there are sandbox GMs that don't realize they need to do that. They just drop them in, and then nobody has fun. And then the game implodes, and then it falls apart. So there's a way in which you actually have to bring them into the experience sort of deliberately. And I have gotten pretty good at doing that, actually, I think. Larger narrative rails, but pretty open in the middle. Mm-hmm. So many D&D players need to experience a multi-die system, and they get away from the one dice. So, sorry, Krellin, pardon me. I was reading your comment, but I read it with the wrong emphasis. So many D&D players need to experience a multi-die system and get away from the one die mindset. When do we get a trooper? Pumpkin. Pumpkin. I've seen bad sandbox GMs that think they're good at it, though. Oh, yeah. But I think a lot of it's because we need more deliberate thinking about what we're doing. Do you know what I mean? Like, we really need more thought about what we're doing. And the problem is, I love bell curves. And one of the problems is that sandboxing is pretty under-theorized in the RPG world. I think guiding a character into a sandbox starts at character generation. It does, 100%. You have to start asking the players what their characters want. 100%. It has to start at character generation. It has to. And I think that so one of the things is, when it comes to all this theorizing, is that all those big theorists, and it's true today it's still true, that when you look at the people who are really interested in being really theorizing RPGs, like really, it does start at player recruiting. This is true. I do love bell curves. That when you think of the people that really started theorizing RPGs, like really being really thoughtful and theoretical about it, they were all narrativists. Those people out of the Forge, they all sort of came out of it like they were really helping to make narrativist stuff a thing. And when you look at people who are really into RPG theory today, they call themselves story gamers. So a lot of the theorizing about RPGs are coming out of a narrativist space, and gamism like always has its spot. And those curves really ring my bell. They ring my bell, my bell. Hey, Tebow. Oh, I know. I just want, come on. And here's the thing. And this is actually, yeah, I think that's true. But the problem is, Krellin, while they did exist, they haven't been theorized, right? And so if you think about it, there are very few modules that are sandboxy. There are some, but not much. Most modules are not. I think some Gamus murder mystery puzzle solving would be awesome, actually. So there's not a lot of modules for them. There's not a lot of support, and there's not a lot of theorizing. So while there's all this discussion about how to be a better narrativist GM, there's so much discussion, so many tips about how to be a better narrativist GM. Lots and lots of tips about how to better balance your combat encounters for Gamus GMs. There's not a lot of like support about how to be better at being a sandbox GM. There's not a lot of ways to talk about how to do that. And that's a shame, because that would be so much. I would love, like, and really, I should probably just do that. I should probably just sort of start doing sandbox support to sort of really think about how to do sandboxing more effectively. You know. So you're right. I should just get to it. But really, what we're talking about is maybe making a third summer stream and talk about sandboxing a little bit. I probably will do that, and I'll find a way to do it. I'll find a way to talk about. We'll work on it. I will work on something. We'll work on it. But here's what's up, everybody. It is 9/11, and I gotta go eat some food. This is what's gonna happen. I'm gonna go eat food, and then I'm gonna come back up for. I think for the sandbox training, it should probably be a vlog. I think I should do a vlog for the sandbox. I'm sorry, TiVo. We probably will talk more theory during CR. Although I've got to upload the session write-ups for Call of Cthulhu during Critical Role. I've got to do that as well. So yeah, I think sandbox tutorials. That's what I've got to do. I think I should do a sandbox vlog is what I think I should do. That's what. Because then we can really talk about like the different types, because there's more than one type of sandbox. There are different ways of doing sandboxes that are very different, right? Like there's like not all sandboxes are the same, is what I would say, right? So, Control Freak, you should go to sleep. Maybe also with guests would be lovely. We could talk. I'm just saying there are options. So I'm gonna think about it because it's summer. I just need my work to leave me alone for a little bit so I can do my stuff. So here's what's up, everyone. I am Trooper SJP, and this has been the Academic Foxhole. And SNA says, I think you should do a TRPG gaming vlog and devote some of the time to sandboxes because there are other interesting things. That's true. I want to do a vlog. I think it'd be good. And I think we could talk about sandboxes a bit. There are a bunch of things we could talk about, really, that will be really good. Sabbatical. Oh, I want it. So I have, So here's what it is. Some game theory. And, So I have a secret Patreon that is going to help me pay for players, and I have been called out. I have one, and I have this Patreon, and I've not really announced it because I don't want to announce it until I run a RPG on my stream. But what my goal is to use it to help pay for players for the games that I'll be running, and then I hopefully can put a vlog out there as well. So I'm really excited about that. So I want to let you know that I have a Discord. If you want to join me on the Discord, you can. I also have a Twitter, which is Academic Foxhole. That is not how you spell Twitter. This is my Twitter. You can join me there. You can see me tweeting randomly. I also have a YouTube where the archive of these shows are. Join us on Discord, hang out with us if you like. But please note that I have a Patreon, but I don't have a Patreon. I don't have a Patreon command yet. I should probably get one, but I don't have one yet because my Patreon's still secret. It's not really. I mean, it's like, you know. But what I want to do a vlog. I want to do a vlog, and I feel like Anna will tell me about cameras, and we'll work it out. Yeah, I like my Discord too. It's pretty mellow. It's not too high, what's the word? Traffic, so it's not overwhelming. But people are pretty friendly, and we kind of like we do our thing. It's not a lot of drama, and I enjoy it. So what I'm going to tell you, because I gotta tell you, tomorrow at 2 p.m. Eastern Time, I will be playing Ghosts of Saltmarsh on the Greyhawk channel, and I'm going to be playing an emo teenage dwarf cleric who's like a cleric of the sea, because the sea is tempestuous like my soul. And Saturday I will be playing not overwhelming but still active. And then this is true. Sometimes we go wild. And then next Saturday, this coming Saturday at noon, I'll be playing Horizon Zero Dawn. And I will, because we're on our way to figure out what's going on with the drama Romeo the Dwarf. I like it, and there will be a Discord announcement when I go live tomorrow. I will make sure I do it. And the sea is its Juliet. So turbulent. You don't even know. Deep and dark with my feelings. I got some eyeliner, so I want to do like a cool eyeliner thing. I'm very excited. And then Sunday at 10 a.m., I will be playing a one-shot Sunday Fun Day on Little Red Dot's channel. And I want angsty dwarf. Angsty dwarf poetry. Iffy. You just said angsty dwarf poetry, and I need to work on that tonight or tomorrow morning because I need that so hard. Like, I need angsty dwarf poetry about the sea. Oh. Okay. I do. I'm loving this. With the stone eroded by the sea, smooth away its flaw, sinks. Yes! Oh! Oh, this is the best ever! Okay. Oh, I'm very excited by this. You have to know it. I'm very excited. Emo, dwarf, sea cleric poetry, incoming. It's so good. Esteni, that poem is so good. I love it. It is good. You understand these feelings. Yeah, but I've got some black eyeliner. It's going to be good. So, what is next? The next thing is in 43 minutes. Oh, these are your films for your I need to watch your Firebrand show. Kelsa Delphi. Kelsa Delphi. I feel like I just learned so much about Esteni in like 40 minutes. Kelsa Delphi. I need to go there and check that out. So, in 40 minutes, blue eyeliner and black hair, or opposite. Emo cleric cast the cure. Oh, yes. Drummer boy, why do you know me so well? Why do you know me? You know me. This is what it is. You know me. And he needs angsty pet names for when he posts his poem about the poetry of the town squares. Drummer boy, he's gonna cast the cure. Yes. Right, I'm gonna wait. So, but in 40 minutes, I'm gonna be back here on my channel, and I'm gonna be hosting Critical Role. So if you like Critical Role, but you don't like being in a chat with 50,000 people, you can watch it on my channel and you can chat with us. My alchemical romance. Oh gosh, I'm so excited for tomorrow. I just want you to know it. I have an emo dwarf, and I'm just, yeah, so good. It is so good. I can't handle it right now. I just can't even handle it because it's so good. So this is, I know, emo dwarf. So I'll be back here in 40 minutes to hang out with anybody who wants to hang out with me. I want to thank every single person who's hung out with me today. I want to thank all the tips, all the bits, all the resubs, all the follows, all of the subscribes. It's so good. And I want to just thank you all for being here. You make really, I just want you to know that this is a thing that I do because I really enjoy it. And I've got this day job over there that takes up a lot of time. And coming here to be with you all is, oh, Esteni, you know what that means. But coming here to be with you all is one of the joys of my life. So I want to thank you all for being here with me. And for Esteni, knowing, of course, that that I don't yet have the perfect rhythm yet for that last line, but singing first, then eating. Airway in. Okay. And I did actually just accept a short committee thing, but it was really short just for the fall. And then I'm going to say no to all the rest of the things. So, airway in, hey, the anime. Airway in, hey, the anime. Eve way at gay way at lay of way at te ute it gay young way. Airway in, hey, the anime. Either I skays or ani say. Old man the idiation pre uya ute uvia stay was ungwe. Ewe every eat ray lands lay of way at brands lay ute day. And way we see the anley or we ukle at the I got in the IA. We're in the money. Okay, I'm going. By the way, one last thing, then I'm going. I love how when she says, she says, like, we never read headlines about breadlines today. And she says for today, she says, other than udete, she says uteede. And that little moment when she goes uteede, that is just so good. Her pig Latin is so good, Ginger Rogers. That's it. We're going. I'm going to see you all in 40 minutes. I'm going to get some food. I'm going to get something super delicious. I don't even know what it is. Maybe Indian food. I can't say. We'll see. I will see you in 40 minutes. If I don't see you in 40 minutes, I will see you maybe tomorrow or sometime this week or on the Discord. Take care, everybody. Bye. Oh, I'm still streaming. It didn't even work. I tried. Okay, wait. Now. I mean it this time. Bye.